Rebel Force Radio presents
Star Wars Cantina.
Where are you going, Master?
For a drink.
Sorry about the mess.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
All right, we're here at Star Wars Celebration Japan with Chewbacca himself, Peter Mayhew. How's it going, Peter?
Very nicely. We're having a great time here. The Japanese fans couldn't be better.
Yeah, aren't they great? Aren't the people out here so nice?
They are fabulous.
Is this your first visit to Japan?
No, we've been here 3 or 4 times before.
Yeah.
So,
and were you out here 30 years ago to promote Star Wars when it was first released?
No, not. Remember it. It was probably 8 months or so before before it came across to Japan. It was never going to be released at the same time as Europe.
Right.
So, and consequently now we have 30 years of Star Wars Japan.
It's amazing, the longevity of Star Wars and how it appeals internationally, isn't it?
It's remarkable. You look around here. Not only is there a large Japanese fans, but there are people from France, people from Australia.
Yeah.
Some Americans have come over, those that are based over here, the American bases over here.
Yes.
Still come in and are still as enthusiastic. It's great. It really is.
What's it like to be a person as tall as you are in a country where the average person is rather short? I feel like Chewbacca the Wookiee here in this country, quite honestly, and I'm 6 foot tall.
Although, you reach a certain height.
Yeah.
And the Japanese just look at you and go, big man. And it's part of their culture not to stare or react as, say, an American would react
right
to either a short guy or a very tall guy or a very big guy.
Right.
So consequently, they are there, they notice you, and they do not say too much.
But in most places in the world where you go, you probably garner a lot of attention just due to your height alone.
Just being there makes it, when we're traveling internationally, it makes a hell. You always have someone at an airport that is going to either recognize you or going to make some comment about your height.
Of course.
Because you stand out. But I've been dealing with this for a long, long time.
Of course.
And you're just there, and it's part of being who you are.
Right. And you stand out in a crowd not only because of your height, but because your hair is so long. Is that a look you've cultivated to sort of say, hey, I am Chewbacca the Wookiee?
Well, when you get not branded but recognized for doing something by the creator, and George has said that there's nobody could do this, so you might as well try and create a look that is part of it. And it's just that I suppose when I was growing up, I didn't have the opportunity to grow long hair. Consequently, it's a reversal.
Yeah. Oh,
it's almost a revolt. Not quite, but it's almost a revolt to
still rebellious after all these years.
Well, that's what Wookiees are.
Right, exactly. And you own that role of Chewbacca. When Chewbacca walks, I see Peter Mayhew's walk.
Yep.
And there's so much personality you gave to a character who didn't speak a lick of English.
True. Didn't speak
at all, just barked. But there's so much personality that you put into Chewie.
That is entirely. Hopefully, I have made the character easy enough for people to relate to.
Oh, absolutely.
They look at the Chewie character. They think, yes, we know what he's talking about, and they just go on down the road. It's not a complicated character. It's a mime that is being done as part of a movie.
Yeah, and he's one of the most beloved film characters of all time.
He's a teddy bear.
And that must make you very proud.
I love it. I think I've got the best job in the world.
Oh, yeah.
At the moment, we're having a real good time being around, doing things for Lucasfilm,
Yes.
doing things for Star Wars.
Yes.
And it just makes me happy to see the reaction from all the other people.
Speaking of Star Wars fans, you've been on the convention circuit for quite a while now.
Yeah.
How have Star Wars fans changed over the years?
They've got wiser.
Yeah?
Because now it's three generations, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And the young ones have been taught to learn the Star Wars code. Code's probably the wrong word, but the rules of Star Wars is that it's myth, it's part fairy story, but there is, if you want to take it that far, there is some rules of living.
Yeah.
It all depends how your parents who bring you up were into the Star Wars situation.
What are the life lessons someone could get from Star Wars?
Honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty, belief, and knowing that evil doesn't always triumph over good.
And the motivation to reach your potential.
Yeah. Just to enjoy being good as well as... I'm not saying that you can't be adventurous, but you can still be good.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the moral stories.
As we celebrate 30 years of Star Wars in Japan, let's go back to the beginning.
Yep.
What were you doing when you first heard about Star Wars?
I was working in a hospital.
What were you doing there?
Orderly's job. And
moving the gurney around, things like that?
Moving patients from here to there.
Yeah.
And the opportunity came along for Star Wars. Went up for an audition, got it, and the rest is history.
So you did audition for Chewie. Now, did Lucasfilm find you, or did you find them?
They found me through another movie.
What was that?
Which was Sinbad and the Outer Tiger.
Yes.
And from there onwards, we did it. That was a continuation of the sort of history of Peter Mayhew's acting career.
Did you and Harrison Ford bond on the set, or was he just kind of into his own thing?
Just look at the movie.
Yeah.
There has got to be a bond.
Yes.
Because otherwise, Chewie and Han do not have the. There is a bond there.
Yeah.
And think about it. We spend a lot of time together.
Yes.
So, and it shows.
Yes.
It shows from the first movie even down to the last one.
The on-screen chemistry was definitely palpable.
It was there, and it definitely happened.
You also played Chewbacca a few times outside of the films.
Yep.
Examples being the holiday special, The Muppet Show, and the MTV Movie Awards. Which was your favorite Chewie moment outside of the film?
Probably the MTV Award, definitely.
That was an honor.
So, yes, the MTV Award people came up and said, "We're honouring Chewie, we need you." I said, "Yes, when would you like me?" And the medal that was not put around my neck originally,
right?
The MTV people got carried down. She put the medal around my neck, and it's all recorded. Yeah. For posterity.
Yeah, right. I think you can find clips on YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube and various other stations.
So Star Wars fans listening to this, be sure to check out Peter getting his big moment, getting the medal, which you deserved. Are you aware that someone created their own version of Star Wars, a very talented special effects guy, took the DVDs and he added his own stuff to it, and he put the medal around your neck at the end. It's called Star Wars Revisited.
Yeah. And I've heard of the website.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
It's great.
How thrilled were you to return to Star Wars after all these years with Revenge of the Sith?
Fabulous. It was one of those opportunities that was there, and not knowing about it, it came straight out the blue. It was a very pleasant surprise. It was beautiful. It really was. It was lovely. After all this time, to just be able to go back and return to the set as part of, as an experienced guy that knew what was going on in the story.
And you did know what was going on. Did you find it that you were in a position where you were teaching your fellow Wookiees like Michael Klima how to be a Wookiee?
We never actually, the only movie, we never shot the Wookiee battle. It was done second unit. Consequently means that they film it over and over again, and they keep it and store it and use it as and when they want to do. The stuff that Mike Kiemer and I did was great because I taught him, being the older man, the old man of the pair. He did all the running around and did all the setups and stuff. It was cool.
Did you find you had to work out and get into a kind of shape to teach you? No, just jumped right back into it?
Just right back into it.
And what was different about the costume?
We had a cooling system in it. Simple water tubing and an ice box.
Yeah.
Pumped it round, kept us cool. Everything was great.
Make a big difference?
Yes, it made it more comfortable.
Yeah.
Rather than stripping off every 10 minutes or whatever it was. So, we did it, and it was comfortable.
Good. And how has George's demeanor changed on the set over the years?
There's no difference.
No, he's the same guy,
There is no difference. He's still the same great guy that he always has been.
Those who work with him always remark about his consistency. He's a very consistent dude, isn't he? Yeah.
He's a very technical dude, too.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
But here's the guy that is technical guy rather than a physical director.
And it's been mentioned a lot of times that he really doesn't give too much direction.
He explains what he wants to do. He lets people do it. And if you can come up with an idea, put it up to him, and you may get away with it on set.
Speaking of the technicalities of Star Wars, what do you think about working in front of a blue screen?
No problem. I have no problems whatsoever. Because a lot of the Sinbad stuff was blue screen anyway. You learn how to do it, and you use your imagination.
Yeah, I'll bet.
For positions of things and stuff like this. So, you're there. Oh, as I say.
Well, most fans would love to see more of Chewbacca's adventures, and with the upcoming Star Wars live-action TV show, maybe the opportunity will be there. Have you been privy to any of the rumors or talk about that show?
No, there's nothing. I know nothing about it, and until it comes around, that is the way I'm going to keep it.
Now, a few years ago, you became an American citizen.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yep.
You're out in Texas.
Yep.
Only fitting. Texans like things big.
Sure.
So, they must have welcomed you with open arms.
Oh, it was wonderful.
And
really
you moved there because of your wife, Angie, correct?
Yep.
How did you two meet?
At a show.
Yeah, she's a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, she's a Star Wars dealer.
Oh, she is?
She was until we hitched up. And then she got the prize that everybody wanted.
She got the real action figure.
She got the real action figures. So now we travel around together and do shows and stuff.
Right, you guys are pretty much inseparable. I always see you together, and I often see Angie with the Star Wars novel, just giving her fandom even more cred,
right.
Which is so cool.
You can't talk to her sometimes if she's got a new Star Wars novel out.
Right.
And she buries her head in it, and sometimes it takes a little time to get into it, because I know, over the years, when it's a good thing, when it's exciting, or when the home team's not doing so well,
right? Yeah,
and stuff like this.
You hear it from her.
Oh yeah, and that way I keep up with all the developments.
Yes.
So I don't have to read it.
Right.
I can talk to her and say, what's this and this and this. So when we're doing Q&As, if someone comes up with, in such and such a book, it was so-and-so. Oh, yeah, that was so-and-so, wasn't it? Blah, blah, blah. And it's all stacked in there. It's all in my brain.
And then, of course, a few years ago, there was the novel Vector Prime, where Chewbacca met his death. And I asked Angie about it, and she said she got a little choked up when she read it. I'm like, it hits a little too close to home.
Well, I learned that unfortunately, the books do not control the movies.
Yes, George has said the same
George
thing.
has
He's gone
said the
on the
same.
record saying that.
He said that the books are the books, the movies are the movies, and the twain will never meet. So, all right. Chewie's gone in the books, but he's still unscrewed.
Yeah,
He's still going to be there.
he'll always be there.
Yeah.
He'll always be there. What do you like to do in your spare time?
Sleep.
yeah, I'd like that too. We share the same hobby.
We're traveling practically every weekend that we're away. So when we do have a chance to relax over a weekend or a couple of days, it's the dogs and the cats and all the animals at home that keep us sane. If you've got a dog and a cat, there is nothing more soothing
Yeah.
to have a dog nuzzle up to you or a cat sit in your lap. You're trusted by them and they love you for who you are, not what's going on.
So you're an animal lover.
Oh, yeah.
And what kind of dog do you have?
We got a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
What are their names?
That's Oscar. And we also have a little Jack Russell Terrier whose name is Alice.
Alice. His
So-
name is...
Alice.
Why is his name Alice?
Her name? I don't know.
Oh, her name. I thought you said his name is Alice.
No, her name.
Alice.
We found her in a storm and
Oh.
adopted her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and she got the name of Alice.
Oh.
God knows why, but that was it.
Star Wars has grown in popularity over the last 30 plus years, and it shows no sign of slowing down.
True.
Why do you think it has such appeal?
It's generational now.
Yeah, it sure
And
is.
that, you try and stop something that's been around for 20, 30 years. Even if it stopped today, think about it. The conventions would still go on because most of the actors or most of the main cast are still alive and still available.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's got an appeal of its own, and therefore it will go on for a number of years.
Oh, I believe you.
A long time, longer than I will be involved in it.
Yeah. It's like the Wizard of Oz,
It
just
carries
giving
on, and carries on.
generation after
Yep,
generation.
Yeah.
What are you most proud about when it comes to your contributions to Star Wars?
Doing something that nobody else can do.
Yeah. No, that's the truth.
That's
and
true.
we mentioned that before. From his walk to the way Chewie kind of turns his head a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen other actors
Try.
portray Chewie for Lucasfilm promotional events and whatnot.
and
Have
it
you
don't
seen
work.
the guy? Have you seen the Chewbacca that plays the drums?
Yeah.
Have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about not canon. Chewbacca playing the drums.
True.
But if there was an instrument Chewie would play, I would imagine it would be the drums.
No, it's guitar.
It's guitar. He would play guitar.
Definitely.
Okay.
Mind you, it'd be about 8 feet long.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it would have to be a big axe. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
All sorts.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Beatles, so anything from late 60s up to the 80s, and forget the modern stuff. Because having been around for a number of years, the same music comes around.
You
and around
betcha.
again.
You
So,
betcha.
I like the old stuff.
Yeah,
I really do.
Me too. I'm a classic rock kind of guy.
Yeah.
Beatles, Stones. Do you like Led Zeppelin?
Yes.
Yeah, I love Zeppelin.
In the right frame of mood.
Oh yeah, okay.
You've got to be in the right frame of mood for any music.
Would Chewbacca, if he was a guitar player, would he play heavy metal? Or maybe
probably,
blues. Maybe some Wookiee blues.
You never know.
That would be
It all
cool.
depends on how he feels and what he's doing.
You know what? Chewbacca the Wookiee, if you want to play guitar, he can play any song he wants.
Yep.
If you could play any other character in Star Wars, who would it be and why?
I don't know. That's a good question. Possible, I suppose Harrison would be a good choice.
Yeah.
Han
Solo.
or a human psychic to him would be wonderful. Because I can't see any of the other characters being that big.
Yeah, right.
I don't.
Whoops.
I don't fancy Jabba. Leave it there.
Okay.
I don't fancy Jabbas, or little Ewoks. Forget it. They're just not all.
You would be king of the Ewoks.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to see that, quite honestly.
True.
Which of the Star Wars films is your favorite?
Empire.
And why?
Strikes Back. Mere fact that the character was able to grow in that particular movie.
Yes.
He went from a minor character to one of the major five.
Yes, absolutely.
And there you go. That's part of it.
You know, I have something that I want to relate to you. When I went to see the premiere of the Empire Strikes Back Special Edition, I sat next to Roger Ebert, who fell asleep during the first half of the film.
Yeah.
So I was really curious to see what his review would be like. Now, obviously, it's a film he had seen before, but this was a special edition. So he went back to some of his old notes, and he said he wasn't going to really change much, but one thing that he didn't care for in Empire Strikes Back was Chewbacca's howling throughout the whole thing, and I thought that was the stupidest thing anyone could ever say about Chewbacca.
He must have gone asleep while Chewie was doing his thing on the screen, because he does howl, but it's usually an appropriate howl to get him out of problems or alert other people that things are going on around him.
Well, I can guarantee you people listening to this show agree with you and not Roger Ebert, for sure.
Exactly. I don't agree with most critics.
Yeah, right.
Because I've got my own opinions.
Right.
And everybody's got their own opinions. And I think some of these critics are highly overrated.
Absolutely. And I'll just tell you, if you ever do stumble across that review and you see that, Jimmy Mack sat next to Roger Ebert, and that guy was sleeping. He had his head on my shoulders practically. That was in 97.
And I bet you wrote these reviews for him too.
Well, if I wrote the review, I certainly wouldn't be saying giving any criticism to Chewbacca. Yeah. I want to keep my arms in the sockets.
True,
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What is your opinion of the prequel trilogy as a whole?
It's a totally different concept. The original trilogy was great. This one, the new one, is for kids.
Yeah, okay.
It's for a younger version.
It does appeal to a younger sensibility sometimes.
Younger version.
Yes.
So, and yet they both join up pretty good. They join up well, and they just, everybody has their own particular thing about it. But as I say, you can watch any of the first three and any of the last three, or all of them together, and it still makes a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
It flows.
Yeah.
If you could do it all over again, and I think I know the answer to this question, would you be in Star Wars knowing what you know now?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Yep.
Yes. It's been a home run with you, hasn't it?
Well, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it's totally changed my lifestyle.
Yeah. And as fans, we're lucky to have events like this and people like you who are still spreading the word out there, being great Star Wars ambassadors for all the fans who come to see you.
Well,
your line, I've been watching, your line has been constantly filled the whole time. People love to come up and meet you and say, hey, I met you. I shook Chewie's hand.
Chewie's hand. Wherever we go in the convention area, we're not high headliners, but we're not last. We're dead straight in the middle. We keep the lines going. We keep the fans happy.
Yeah, well, you created an iconic character that people love.
Yeah.
Like I said, you brought the personality to Chewbacca. And if you didn't, it would have been a mop, essentially.
And the more you see of this, the more you realize what that particular character can do.
Yeah, and you probably feel a certain responsibility too because of that.
Yes, the more you're around that particular character, the greater the response you feel for it. Though you keep your attitude right. Let's put it this way: not everybody has a perfect day every day.
Yeah, right.
So if I'm a bit off, it's usually that I'm tired or we've just travelled a long way.
Right.
And the fans can be pushy.
Well, everyone.
It's two sides to it. If someone pushes me, I will push back.
Yeah. Oh, but I would listen. Who is going to make that mistake? It's not going to be me.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you push back, I'll probably fly through the wall. So.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, congratulations on your long-running success with Star Wars. Like I said, we're so lucky to have you out here on the circuit where we can go and meet you. Yeah. You created an iconic character and one that will endure forever. And I'm so happy to be able to have the time to finally talk to you. I've been wanting to talk to you for years. Good. And just enjoy the rest of your stay in Japan.
We will do.
thank you so much for talking to us here on the Force
Not
Cast.
a problem.
You're the best,
It's been
man.
wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Rebel Force Radio.